Morning, Raptor Freak. Lexi out here. Friday Freak out. They did it. They did it. Tom, Duke, G, Greg, everybody. They did it. Duke rocks. They did it. The Raptors did what we thought they would do. They didn't do anything crazy. They were no Oklahoma City Thunder with their crazy moves every which way. And listen, the trades last night were confusing. This may have been the most confusing draft ever in my entire life, with the trades going back and forth, and they weren't even like clear. They were like maybe going this way, and New York Knicks fans weren't even sure what the hell was going on with their picks and stuff, with Kemba Walker and all this stuff. It was weird. Like, honestly, the deals were a little weird and too out of control. Like, every 2 minutes they were announcing another trade. Thank God our draft day was simple, very to the point, very calculated, and very, very, very good. Because, like, listen, we did it, y'all. We finally got a center. It's been years. We wanted a center for so long, and we got a really good one, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Christian Koloko of Cameroon is from the exact same city that Pascal Siakam is from. There are pictures of Pascal and Christian from like the last 5 years of Pascal and him interacting with each other. There's pictures of him, Koloko, with Embiid also, just so you know. There's a funny picture of him when he's like about 5 or 6 years ago with Koloko standing with Embiid, and he looks like he's pretty equal with height with him, just real skinny at that point. But boy, Christian, listen, this is the thing. Christian Koloko's path to the NBA and getting drafted number 33 by the Raptors was a long, hard journey so far. That he's worked super hard in his time in the United States, in high school, in California, and then also in Arizona as a 3-year college pro for Arizona. He was getting his work in, filling out, and he's a big size. Like, this dude is 7'1", 230 pounds. This is not a Chris Boucher skinniness on this man. This man's going to bring a whole different kind of thing to the Raptors' defensive look, and it's nasty. It is nasty. I went overdosing on some Christian Koloko highlights last night, y'all, and what I see that's going to happen with this team is absolutely insane. Oh, man, Jan's here. Good to see Jan M. It was a nail biter. It was very much like, what are they going to do? And it was weird because Caleb Houston was right there, right ahead of him. And that's who I really wanted them to get. But I'm so happy we got Christian. But Caleb got snatched up by Orlando, the pick right before our pick. And I was like, I wanted to reunite Scotty and Caleb. Well, Masai and Bobby decided to put Christian Koloko on the same team with Pascal Siakam instead. And this is fantastic. Honestly, I think this kid's going to contribute right away for the team. That Bobby Webster was sheepish about it. He's like, we'll have to get him in there and see how well he can do and whether he'll be able to contribute to the main team. He's definitely going to be on the G League, guys. And this man could be Defensive Player of the Year in the G League this year coming up. I am going to predict this right now, that Christian Koloko might be the Defensive Player of the Year in the G League this season. And that he's going to be splitting time. This is going to be great. Like, him in 905 is going to be badass because he's going to get tons of reps. He's going to get real comfortable. I can't wait to see him in Summer League in the beginning of July. There is so much to look forward to about Koloko. And I'll talk about how he's going to affect our team more and more as we go in this live stream this morning. Shane Waters is saying we got some Kung Pao K to go with the Spicy P. I like this. He wants to call him Kung Pao K. You know, Spicy never asked for the Spicy moniker. I don't know if we've got to give them all spicy nicknames and stuff like that. I don't know. Koloko Loco. I don't know what we're going to do when we Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin are going to call this man's name out. What the permutations of his nicknames will be. Christian Koloko will be very interesting and very fun. I like this. Jan saying Coco Beware. That is a badass one. In fact, I got Coco Beware just over there with the rest of them. I might have to use him for Coco Koloko. Let's see. G saying the undrafted player they got on a two-way has a ton of potential. This is G is talking about Ron Harper Jr. That's right. The son of Chicago Bull champion and poor man's Michael Jordan, Ron Harper. His son is on our team all of a sudden after last night. I knew this is what the Raptors were going to do. Stay pat. Keep your one pick. Pick that 33 pick. Get good value. Bobby said this is who they had in their top 20. The Koloko was in in their top 20 on their ranking board. So they got exactly who they wanted, even though they did the Goran Dragic, Thad Young trade. They got exactly who they wanted at pick number 20, at number 33. That's right. They made it happen. Koloko was in their range in the top 20. So it's badass. But they did what I thought. They kept the 33rd pick, made one draft pick, and then they went and signed an undrafted guy right immediately after the draft. And it was one of the juniors. There's so many juniors in this draft. You got Sharif, you got Bronny, you got Scottie Pippen Jr., you got Kenny Lofton Jr. Well, we picked our junior, y'all, and it's Ron Harper Jr. of Rutgers University. And this man, listen, this dude is hilarious. I'm going to tell y'all, he has a fun game. This man is thick, first of all. He is a wide body that likes to bang. And this man ain't afraid of contact going to the basket. He will hit somebody with his body to get to the basket. I'll tell you right now. And he is nothing like his father. His father was a finesse player. He was a finesse scorer. And this man is I'm going to go right through you, I'm a really wide man, and I will go right through you. And I love his hair. He's got that crazy Justin Champagny hair, just like Justin does. But to me, some reason, Ron Harper Jr. looks like Eric Andre. Like, he looks like Eric Andre a little bit to me, which is not a bad thing, because I think Eric Andre is hilarious. And I love his comedy and stuff like that. So if we got some sort of Eric Andre lookalike run around on our team this year, that's fun. That's just fun. But he's all right. Listen, Ron Harper Jr. has some weird credentials. Like, this man can hit game winners. He's a clutch 3-point shooter. He's the kind of guy that's a baller. He's a really like hard-nosed guy who wants to win. And he's like all about doing crazy stuff in games and being like that scrappy guy that does whatever he can. Now, his offense is a little bit more well-rounded than somebody like Justin Champagny. Justin Champagny's a really hard-nosed player and a border and all this kind of stuff. But Ron Harper Jr. has got some really interesting offensive skills. Like, they are a little bit different, a little bit more refined, and a little bit more interesting in some ways. So I'm very excited about the Ron Harper Jr. There was a lot of idiots. Like, there were some Raptor fans that went and looked at his Twitter, and he had some old tweets about the Raptors, and some of them were about Pascal and the bubble and him messing up. And some of the fans called him out on it immediately after he acquired him. And it wasn't totally a good look, but I understand these are Raptor fans. They're rabid. They're freaks like me. And maybe they're part of the toxic wing of Raptor fans, but Ron Harper went and deleted those tweets as soon as he could. But really, the tweets that he said about the Raptors were not bad. He was like rooting for them. And also, like, I don't know why he did it, because honestly, the tweets made him look like a real Raptor fan. Like, he has been a fan of the Raptors ahead of this time, Ron Harper Jr., even though he has no connection to us whatsoever. And the city of New Jersey is embracing the Raptors now because they love Ron Harper Jr. in New Jersey. They really, really do in that state. So that Rutgers people, Ron Harper Jr. is from New Jersey. The state of New Jersey, all of a sudden, we have fans from New Jersey of the Raptors suddenly. All of a sudden, yeah, it's going to be fun. Koloko's footwork is great, is what G's saying. Yeah, I think that's true. Like, the thing about Koloko that's really fun from his highlights is his help defense. Like, this man could be across the court and he will come and block a shot from out of nowhere. That is the crazy thing. Like, he's not even blocking shots on guys he's guarding. He will come and give help defense, and it will be a straight up block. And that's one of the things I love about this, is because our guys can be more, and this is what Nick said last night in his press conferences. He said that now our guys can gamble a little bit more on their defense. Like we already were. Gary Trent Jr. going after a loose ball and a steal or something like that, or going in there and trying to hit it and letting his defender, his offensive player, go right by him on defense. That stuff Fred and Gary have been gambling on steals on the outside already. Well, they can really do it even more if Koloko is down low, because that man will make up for mistakes real fast with his long wingspan and his quick feet, that he will be right there and bam, he will hit it. And he's really good at blocking shots where they stay in bounds. That's another good thing. Like some guys hit the ball when they block a shot and they send it out of bounds like every single time. Well, not this dude. This dude will tip it or just tap it. And oftentimes his team will get the ball back and get the ball and stuff like that. So that's the thing, is like this dude has got shot blocking ability. And it's something that we have not had. It's not like Chris Boucher's shot blocking. It is a little bit, but it isn't. This man is going to come and get balls if he can. He will come and make ground up, and he all of a sudden will come from nowhere and block shots that he has no business blocking. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, the stuff about his shot is very interesting. He's really good around the basket. Like he's a 60% field goal guy near the basket, lots of lobs, lots of easy dunks near the basket. He's very tall. It's very easy for him to put it in near the basket. His mid range has a little bit to be worked on. Let's just put it this way. He has a baby hook that's very reminiscent of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in some ways, but he doesn't have the touch right yet. And he has no left hand right now, y'all. He's going to have to develop left-handed skills with his shooting near the basket because his left hand is not good and accurate at all. And he really has to work on his touch. That like if he's going to be shooting hooks and little flippers like with one hand, he can get better at that and stuff like that. But right now, that's not really what he's good at. He's a lob threat. He's really good down low and near the basket. But mid-range can be worked on. And then the three-point shot is the real mystery. Now, the three-point shot is something because he has some good mechanics with his form and the way he naturally likes to shoot. That if they get change it just a little bit, kind of like what they're doing with Scotty right now this summer, that his three-point shot could get really good and very like accurate, like over time. In fact, some people on Twitter are predicting that the Raptors will draft Christian Koloko and he'll have a three-point shot by the time the season starts. I think it's very, very likely, yes, that he's going to develop some sort of three-point shot that's consistent. Even if it's just to the level like Chris Boucher's three-point shooting, there's going to be some three-point shots that he's going to be shooting also because that's just a prerequisite on our team. Now, how he fits with our defensive schemes is very interesting. I think that he'll be fine in some of the positionless schemes because he can chase the little guy a little bit. He can at least direct them to the places that they want to put them. Like if they want to direct him into the lane, he can do that. If he wants to drive them to the outside, he can do that because he can really kind of keep a little bit of lateral and a little bit of movement like that. He's much better than most of the centers in this draft. That his footwork and his lateral quickness side to side is pretty good. It's not super great, and he still will be one of the slower guys on the team, but he's not super, super slow like a lot of centers in the league and stuff like that. So I really, really, really like it. All right. I love all the messages, guys. I love everybody talking about this already. Let's keep going. Let's see what you guys are saying. Jan saying snatch quick or Nembhard. You know, Nembhard did get drafted. I forget by who. But it was good to see all the Canadians drafted in the draft last night. We had the two in the top 7, and then we had two more in the first round by the end of the first round. Caleb Houston Caleb was in the second round, but Nembhard was right at the end there. And I believe he went to Indiana to the Pacers and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of Canadians on the Pacers now all of a sudden, you know, with Duarte. And they actually drafted Ben Mathurian, who Chris Boucher was very proud of on his Instagram last night. He had a big woohoo when Benedict Mathurian got drafted by the Indiana Pacers. I think it's 6 or something like that, somewhere around there and stuff like that. Tom Duke is pumped. He is pumped. I'll tell you who else is pumped, Tom Duke. Precious Achua. As soon as we drafted Christian Koloko, Precious got on Twitter and said something like, locked in. Oh, yeah, let's go. This guy is ready. He loves this pick. He's very happy with it. This morning I get up, I see it on Scotty Barnes' Instagram. Christian Koloko. Yes, sir, Ski. Yes, sir, Ski. He's getting the yes, sir, Ski. Christian is from Scotty Big Roy Barnes. He is acknowledging this man. Of course, Pascal is super happy about this and super excited. And, you know, Christian came to the United States for high school. He did not speak English. He's a very similar path to Pascal coming to this country of the United States and learning basketball, playing through a Western college out in the Pac-12 for Christian Koloko. And, you know, this is a similar thing. So Christian's going to have a guy that can really identify with him and talk to him about NBA life and help him if he has any struggles. Now, seriously, I've seen Koloko play for Arizona a couple times in the past year, and he has been so dominant in certain ways on the defensive end. that hopefully this translates to the NBA game. That this man is super, super long. He's got a super long wingspan, and we should be very excited. This is the player we wanted them to draft for like 2 or 3 years, honestly. G is buzzing about this. I'm buzzing about it. Tom Duke's saying Nick Nurse was jacked about things. Oh my gosh, wasn't he, Tom Duke? That press conference with Nick Nurse, you see Nick Nurse giddy like a kid on Christmas once again. And I love what he said about our players, because you guys know that in the war room last night with Bobby and Masai and Nick, there were three of our superstars there: Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, and Scotty Barnes were actually there with the guys while they were drafting. And to me, that smacks of Masai saying, you guys are young players, but you might want to have a future after you play. And you know what? I want to show you a side of the GM side that, we're going to give you guys a little advanced Toronto Raptors teaching here. That since you guys care about this team so much and you're so passionate, why don't you come and sit in the room with Bobby and I while we watch the draft and react to how it goes and see how we work during this, because these men were there. That's what I'm saying. OG, all the trade rumors. Pascal, he's the franchise man. He's the bag man. What is he doing? He could be anywhere in the world right now. And then young Scotty Barnes, the youngest player in the Raptors, the rookie of the year, he's showing up. And the three of them worked out in OVO yesterday morning, and they hung around and made it a whole Raptors day because they were at the draft war room with Bobby and Masai while they were drafting, watching it all, taking it in. And you know what? They don't normally do this with most players. I know Draymond was there with the Golden State Warriors in their war room yesterday, but man, having those three guys watch them draft and see the whole process, that's badass. And what Nick said and what Tom's saying is that these guys really love being Raptors, that they take it very personally. They love their team, and they were excited to see what was next for us. That's the reason why they were there. I can't help but think that Scotty's enthusiasm about being on the Toronto Raptors is rubbing off even harder on people like OG and Pascal. That they see him with this, it's just so enthusiastic about the sport of basketball, being on an NBA team, wanting to win championships and all this kind of stuff, that it's just making it a lot of fun. And I don't see how anybody can believe Jake Fisher or any of these rumor heads about OG at this point. Like, the man was literally in the war room last night with Masai Ujiri and Bobby, like watching them draft and stuff like that. So really, really awesome to hear this. And Nick, yeah, he's giddy. He's like, these dudes really love, the other thing Nick was talking about was they're playing against each other in practice. And it's really fun to see this talent, Siakam, Anunoby, Barnes, battling each other one-on-one, like really going at each other in practice at OVO in the morning. Like they're like taking it to each other right now, and they're having fun. This is the kind of thing that I love about Scotty, learning from his Twitch, is he's very competitive. He just loves to play basketball, and that he's got to get a kick out of learning and playing against Pascal, talking a little trash, trying to beat OG against him while he's playing defense on him and stuff like that. That is got to be so much fun. And I'm glad they're working together now, because this kind of synergy and time together is great for their chemistry, even more so next year. It's almost like Scotty heard me on Twitch saying, the more time you guys spend together, the better y'all will get together. Well, Scotty's like, light bulb. I'm going to go back to Toronto, and I'm going to start working out at OVO with whoever's in town. And right now it's Pascal and OG. They're in town also, and they're all working out together. It's so good. Rahul saying Koloko needs to put some muscle, and he's going to be a problem in the East. Yeah. He's got good muscle already, which is good. Like he's not coming in like a Chris Boucher, where he's like really skinny in a project. This dude has some good strength already. And the thing about it is, like, listen, this man's got a shot kind of like Serge Ibaka, like at the top of the key. He can hit that inside the 3-pointer at the top of the key shot that Serge used to shoot. He's pretty good from there. And, he does have some good strength. I mean, I've seen what he has is, as they described in a scouting report I watched last night, is he has hand strength, which is something where he's really good at, like Fred is at his height with his hands. He's able to pry the ball out of people's hands. Well, Koloko apparently has these kind of strong hands also as a 7'1" guy, that he's really good at, like, if there's a little bit of it's a 50-50 ball and there's two guys fighting for the ball, he's really good at wrenching it and getting it and winning that 50-50 battle. So we should be prepared for that. So I'm not worried about his strength so much. And I know that once he gets to Toronto, he can't get here, first of all, all, because he's on a student visa for Arizona, that he doesn't have the right to, if he leaves and comes to Canada right now, he won't be allowed to come back into the United States because of the rules with student visas and stuff like that. So they have to wait until July the 1st when he signs his contract with the Raptors. Then he'll be able to travel between Canada and the US without getting any worries of deportation or not allowed or something like that. So he's not going to be coming to Toronto in the next couple of days. He's going to meet up with the team directly at Summer League in Las Vegas when they start playing in July. So we won't see Christian on this side of the border until after Summer League, just so y'all know. And it's a visa thing. It's totally a visa thing. I did see the clip where Masai and Bobby were on the phone with him saying, "Hey, I got your hat. I'm wearing your hat," is what Masai said. "Where's yours?" And Christian looks really excited to be on the Raptors. Honestly, if he's like thinking about things and stuff like that, he's like, "Man, I get to play with the great Siakam. I'm on a team that's badass." He's got to feel real good and happy about this. Like, this is the right team. Precious is excited he's coming in, and it seems like other guys on the team are very excited about it also. So great fit, great pick, good job. It's not too flashy or crazy. It is something that we kind of predicted and hoped for. He was on our top 5 draft targets yesterday on the think tank, and they made it happen. And I'm so happy about it. Nick Nurse really jacked, really giddy about the state of affairs with the Raptors and how the vibes are so good with Scotty Barnes and OG and Pascal hanging around all day yesterday. Rahul saying, okay, we read that. Tom Duke saying, Nick also excited about how OG and Scotty were practicing it. I know, that's got to be fun to watch, even if they're not really directing them, just kind of standing back and watching these guys hang around, and hopefully they're not going too hard, because you don't want anybody to get injured. Just play hard and like have a good time, and see what you guys can do messing around and stuff like that. Let's see. Rahul saying, I was hoping Justin Lewis was signed by the Raptors as an undrafted player. Yeah. Listen, there's so many different weird players and stuff like that going every which way and stuff like that. We never saw Kai Soto's name last night, which is very telling. We did see people like the Lakers picked up at the end. They got Sharif O'Neal, Shaq's son, to a summer league contract. That's not a two-way. That means he just gets to try out at the summer league. And then they did sign Scottie Pippen Jr. to a two-way at the end of the night, the Lakers. So they got Scottie Pippen Jr. We got Ron Harper Jr. That's the Lakers. And the Lakers traded to get into the draft, and then they didn't even pick Kai Soto. They picked some guard or something from Michigan State. So it's like, what is the rhyme or reason here? And I have no idea what the Oklahoma City Thunder and all these other teams are doing. On Sunday, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about these teams that just have draft picks, and they just keep getting draft picks and more draft picks on draft picks, and like where they're going and why they just tread water at the bottom of their conferences, and like with horrible records over and over again. Oklahoma City, I'm looking at you and stuff like that, because it's like, what is this? Who cares if you have all these trades and these draft picks and stuff like that if your team is garbage over and over again? I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. Look, good job by Orlando. I think that you got the right one getting Banchero. Like, seriously, like, out of those guys, it's really weird how Jabari fell. But listen, I have no faith in that Chet Holmgren guy. That guy's going to be a bust. You heard it first from the Raptor Freak right now, right here. Chet Holmgren is going to be a bust. This man is not going to make the NBA. This dude is slender man. This man has no weight on him. He has nothing on him. I have no faith in him. And listen to his interview. He sounds like a Yahoo. Like, he sounds like a backwoods hick. And like, I don't think this dude's going to do any good. Like, he looks like a Machine Gun Kelly weirdo or something like that. And what the fuck is you coming out there saying, like, bet on yourself, Chet Holmgren? Don't you know that that's a copyright in the league already? And like, they even called you out for it, Kendrick and Malika, when you're in your interviews. Like, well, you may need to hold, pause real quick. You say bet on yourself, that you bet on yourself. Wait, Chet Holmgren, you bet on yourself and you want to use that as your thing? You have little dice? No, Chet Holmgren, listen, you are a lottery pick. You were picked second in the draft. You're not a guy who needs to bet on yourself, because you didn't have to go the hard road. You didn't have to do what the man Fred VanVleet had to do. So bet on yourself is clearly and exclusively Fred VanVleet's. A second round pick, a second pick in the draft, a lottery pick is never bet on yourself. So Chet Holmgren, you slow your roll about your whole bet on yourself crap, because right now you already, like, first of all, you stepped in it with Raptors fans. Like, listen, you are not betting on yourself. No, 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 no bet on yourself from him, Slender Man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna be a bust, because listen, you got, what is the skinny man that you guys got in Oklahoma City all of a sudden? I'm gonna be making fun of Oklahoma City a lot this year. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, seriously, because they got what, this Ponikowski, he's got the same name as me, Alexei Ponikowski, and now you got this Chet Holmgren. Who are these weirdos, man? Like, what is going on with y'all? These are skinny men. Maybe they have good talents and stuff like that, but listen, I have no faith in Chet Holmgren. I said it right here. He's going to be a bust. That is a second pick bust coming up in the future, baby. Oh, yeah, there's my hot take right there. It's Click saying, let's fucking go. I'm all about it. Let's go tomorrow. Koloko is here. We are ready. Let's get in training camp right away. Let's have a training camp for 2 months and go right in the season with all these guys at OVO working out independently. They're independently coming there and working independently at the OVO Center. Yeah, they're independently coming here. Yeah, independently. Yeah. Jan's saying we don't have to collapse so hard in the middle and we can challenge the perimeter better. Yes, Jan, thinking about those X's and O's, thinking about that spacing on the defense and how it can shift a little bit further outward because there's a man patrolling in the lane. And listen, somebody posted this on Twitter last night, and my mouth just started salivating. Like, whoa. It's like, all right, center, Christian Koloko, all right? Power forward, Precious Achua. Small forward, Pascal Siakam. Shooting guard, OG Anunoby. Point guard, Scotty Barnes. What is that team going to look like out there? Like, at some point, they're going to fuck around and find out what the Raptors look like with that big lineup, with Scotty Barnes at the point guard, OG at the 2 guard, Precious and Pascal at the forwards, and Koloko in the center. That is a nasty team right there. Like, seriously, when we put that combo out there, that's going to be very nasty. I'm telling you, this is going to be so nasty. Click saying, did you guys also see the undrafted player we picked up? 3-level scorer. Yeah. Ron Harper has a great 3-point shot. He loves turnarounds. He makes these, he's like this dude is hilariously jokes. Like, the way he plays is fun. Like, he's like that dog on Sesame Street, Barkley, that used to come in, everybody's happy and like, oh, it's like, that is what Ron Harper Jr. is like with his game. Like, he's just fun. He makes these crazy turnaround jump shots, bank shots. He's like all about going through people to get to the basket and stuff like that. Very physical player. Ron Harper Jr. is going to be really fun. And you're right, Click. He's 3 levels. He can go down near the basket, mess around down there. He's not even that tall. He's like 6'6", 6'7", and he's really good with his wide shoulders, his wide body at finishing and making room for himself near the basket. And then he's got, like I said, a turnaround, and he's got a mid-range, and then he loves hitting threes. Like, he's got some bombing threes and stuff like that. He's a baller. Let's just put it that way. He's another one of these guys that wants to win, hits big shots, and wins. That's who this Ron Harper Jr. is right now. And he had the stigma growing up with his dad's name. Like, he got a lot of grief from being Ron Harper Jr., not looking like Ron Harper Sr., not playing like him. Like, he's a weird, wild man compared to Ron Harper Sr., this man with his crazy hair looking like Eric Andre. Ron Harper Jr. is very intriguing and stuff like that. Now, Julian Champagny, talking about the Champagnes, I don't know if Justin should be too happy about Ron Harper Jr. because they're a little duplicitous in some ways, but maybe they can coexist and be fine and everything. Justin continue his path. But dude, I'm really big on Ron Harper. This guy may have more offensive skills than Justin does and stuff like that. And that's the very intriguing thing. Now, Julian didn't get drafted. Julian Champagny did not get drafted. He got a 2-way contract from the Sixers. Oh, man. So Julian is with the Sixers now. That is what happened at the end of the night, that Julian Champagny went there. All right, let's see. All right. Yeah, big body with defensive upside. Yeah, Click. That's the other thing. When I was watching Ron Harper's clips late last night, he guards like Scotty Barnes. Like, he's very aggressive and comes up. And because he has those wide shoulders, wide body, he can guard with his body physically, kind of like what Scotty does, like what we saw in his first rookie year. Scotty Barnes is a really good up on the person defender. And Ron Harper was doing the exact same kind of defending on people. He looked just like Scotty on defense in certain ways, the way he was getting up on people. Rahul's saying, I think Boucher's time as the Raps is over because I can't see the Raps signing him to a 3-year contract for $17 million per year. Is that what he's saying, Rahul? Because we talked about this a couple times, you and I, that we were trying to see where the sweet spot was. We said between 10 and 15, but if he wants 17 million, I don't know. I think that we do want Chris back still, even though we got Koloko last night. That these guys are different kinds of players, and that Chris, and listen, we want more of this. We don't want less of this going away. It's not like we get one center and now all of a sudden we can let Chris walk. No, we want more depth with their size. We want different looks. And listen, I'd love to have Boucher and Koloko out there together on the court on both sides. Think about those possibilities in some ways like that. So I think that it's true that we aren't as pressurized to resign Chris because Christian has been drafted, but I think it's still very wise and smart to do so, to get him back here. So make it happen, Bobby. And you know what? This is what Bobby Webster said last night. He said, this does not change his free agency plans as far as who he wants to sign back or sign after the draft. That this is just all according to plan. So I think that what he's saying is he still wants to sign Chris. And we'll just have to see what the number is, Rahul, and see what it's all about. So Tom Duke's saying, who's that? Click. Also, that draft had some great content. Tom, we're talking about Ron Harper Jr. That is the second player the Raptors acquired last night on a two-way deal, undrafted, late last night. That's right. Rahul's saying maybe ask Thad to take $8 million per year for 2 years. Yeah, see if you can do that. Like Thad could be maybe on the cheap. We'll have to see. Thad's been working his kids hard all week and all long. And tomorrow, Thad Young, Share the Love Club. Thaddeus Young. We're going to talk about Thaddeus Young and the things we really enjoyed about him being on the team for the half season last season, and him coming in and being a great replacement for Moron Tragic and stuff like that. We'll talk about Thad tomorrow. Let's see. This puts Rudy Gobert rumors to sleep. Yeah, Rahul, I think you're right. You know, this in some ways, Koloko kind of makes it so we don't really need any guy like Mobamba or Nurkic or any of those kind of rumblings and stuff like that. I think you're right. This last night's draft did a lot. It put a lot of OG rumors to sleep. It put, this kind of trade rumors like you're saying, we just want to get Rudy Gobert. No, we don't need him anymore. We got our center now, finally. BTOB is saying, we got a center. We can trust our front office to have a vision. The dynasty is beginning. And the great thing is, this isn't a real, like a center like we've been talking about that can hurt you. Like a center that just kind of is like Embiid. Like I was telling that Sixers fan yesterday about how he's their best thing and their worst thing at the same time. Koloko is the kind of like fringe role player that you get and you bring in as a look, but you're not so heavily dependent on him because you need to, because he's such a big part of your salary or anything like that. I'm excited. And I'm wondering, is this guy the kind of guy that could become an all-star? That like Bobby was hinting that at the 33rd pick, they want to try and draft a guy who could possibly become an all-star down the road. Who knows? Koloko could develop into some more well-rounded offensive player also with his defense. And that, I don't know, maybe he could be an all-star one day. Who knows? Rahul's saying Chicago can deal with Rudy's stupid contract. Yeah. Listen, all these other teams, they can shuffle everything around every which way, make it all so confusing, all the craziness. I had no idea what the fuck happened with trades last night. Like the way they announced them were so confusing. They didn't have any good graphics on ESPN to explain any of them. Like it's still not clear. And the other thing that made it really confusing is there were so many people with the same freaking names, kind of the same names, Jaden, Williams. There's so many. There were two Jalen Williams. First of all, they were both drafted by the Thunder, and there was just so many names that were similar. It was really hard to like keep it all in track. Like who's Dalen Terry and Jalen Williams, and who's going which way, and everything like that. It just got to be a mess. Like it was a real mess, NBA. Like you made a real cluster F of like information and like didn't have any rhyme or reason. I know the teams are doing the deals as they do them, but it was so confusing. Like I could not tell which trade, who was actually getting what player or anything. In fact, I don't even care. I just threw my hands up and I said, I don't care who went on whatever team. We'll just see who's in whose training camp in the fall, because it seems like it's all unsettled because people are getting moved around like crazy still. It was crazy. But yeah, it was like that. It was weird. The draft last night was very weird. It was weird from the start because they went off script right away. People were like, "Whoa!" And then certain teams were so active last night. Like they were way at Detroit and Oklahoma City and Charlotte. These teams were doing stuff every which way. It seemed like last night. It was crazy. Yeah, click saying Ron Harper Jr. So many Canadians drafted. Somebody said this the other night, last night too. Is like, all these Canadian players are going to want a boomerang. Some of them may come to the Raptors in the future and stuff like that. The future is so bright for our team. Like, if you think about it, we got two pipelines. We got the pipeline of our own nation with our homegrown talent of Canadians that are coming in more and more each year. And then we have the pipeline from Africa that Masai Ujiri has set up and did so much for basketball in that continent that we really like. Look, we picked a guy from Cameroon for a center last night. That's not an accident. That we have how many guys that have African descent on our team now, that we've got two pipelines of talent coming towards the Raptors, and they're from two of the biggest hotbeds of best talent coming into the NBA right now. That's Canada and the whole continent of Africa. So wow, good job, Raptors, continuing to build in that way and have good talent from far off places and also from home and stuff like that. We're going to see some home talent coming back too. It's going to be awesome. Let's see. Rahul's saying, I wish the Raptors could have signed Justin Lewis instead of Ron Harper. Yeah, I mean, listen, we got to trust in Masai and Bobby. I think it's really because Ron Harper is a baller. Like this guy. Hopefully, he can be a scorer. Like he can be this guy who can just fill it up. Who knows? What if he's in our rotation as like a fill up guy off the bench, a Vinny Microwave Johnson kind of guy who comes in, heats up, and just gets us some baskets real quick. I want to see if he can score in the NBA like he did for Rutgers. Seriously, because we got to trust in Bobby Masai. There's something about Ron Harper Jr. that's special. And it's kind of cool that we got another junior in there from another pro junior, like Gary Trent Jr., Ron Harper Jr. Who knows? They could probably have a lot in common. Growing up with their father's name and living in their shadow. Rahul's saying that's how much the Raptors management love those three individuals. I see Scotty, Pascal, and OG being here long term. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, we have they said it again last night over and over again. Bobby said this is a family. We're not just a business. The part of it is like we want to welcome Christian into our family. That this is a family environment. We want him to have a nice warm welcome for him. We wish we could have brought him to Canada now, but the visa issues don't allow him to come into Canada and get back into the US. So it's like when we get to Las Vegas, we're going to have a big, huge celebration and be there with him and make sure he feels very warmly welcomed to the Toronto Raptor family. This is what Bobby Webster said last night in his press conference. This is an important part of the Raptors' identity and how they run things, is that we're not necessarily, it may be that Masai's thought about this from a humanistic standpoint, that in the history of sports, ownership of teams and management, they don't necessarily look at players as humans or as people with emotions. They look at them as commodities. They look at it as people that they can, we just need the best. And they're cutthroat. And they'll make business decisions that are really hurtful and not nice to the athlete sometimes. Well, maybe Masai is like, I want to be a new age exec. Why don't we change this kind of culture and show that basketball can be played at a higher level when you have this kind of security and family environment where the players feel loved and cared for by the team, that they're not going to get sold out or stabbed in the back, that is a really important strength and part of our identity as a franchise in some ways. This is very calculated. And it may be a new age way of being a GM or a president of a team, is to run a team like that. And I know every team has a certain level of like, oh, we're a family, everything's right. But the Raptors really mean it. And they really walk the walk. Some teams are kind of like, yeah, we're a family. We're the Knicks family. Really, how much of a family environment do the Knicks have? Come on, seriously. That's what I'm saying. And I love what Rahul's saying is that these dudes, they're lifers with the Raptors possibly. Like that Fred El Capitan says he wants to be a lifer. I think these young men want to also. That it's exactly the opposite what they're saying about OG. That this man, he's like, he wants to learn from Masai and stay here. And that like there's a list of like guys on the team that are Masai's sons, so to speak. And Pascal and OG are two of them. And I'll bet you Scotty and Fred are another two of them too. Quick saying all we need now is some shooters in free agency or backup guard. Yeah, this is a good point, Click. And this is what Bobby said. Now we can fine tune things with our MLE, our mid level exception, and what we want on the free agency market. They're really going to pinpoint the specific style of player and what type of player that they need the most in free agency to use this money. And hopefully, it does still mean we get Chris and Thad back, but also somebody else with them. But the writing's on the wall. Utah's gone, guys. I'm pretty positive that Utah is not going to be on the Toronto Raptors next season. I'm not totally sure about Svi and Armani, too, that these guys don't have the necessary guarantees to be on the roster next season. That Svi and Armani Brooks may actually get displaced out of the team also. Because of the influx of talent that we're getting right now. And they got to make roster decisions in training camp. So it could be a very, very competitive training camp. Like somebody like Justin Champagny could be in danger also. David Johnson. These guys can all lose their spots. And they need to really work hard this summer and prove that they are people that the Raptors want for the future, that they got to be really on top of things because there's going to be some good competition going into training camp this year. Let's see. Rahul's saying Julian Champagny's still undrafted, right? Yeah, Julian got picked up by Philadelphia. They signed him to a two-way contract after, just like we did with Ron Harper Jr. So Julian is a Sixer, just so you know. Anthony Adrot is saying, yeah, he was two-way with Sixers. He's telling them exactly what I said. And Rahul's upset about this. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Tom Duke saying signing Boucher is our next move. I hope so. And like they saying, it's like July the 1st. It's going to be Team Canada versus Dominican Republic in Hamilton, and pre-Olympic competition, and also free agency opening up on the 1st. Oh yeah, that's when it all starts. Let's see. Giovanni's here. Good to see Giovanni again. Christian Koloko was a steal at 33. He was he was projected after an amazing combine to be late first round. Yes. Giovanni approves of the great move, and it was true. Bobby was right. Like there was so much different players and different people by different teams. They looked at him in different rankings, and that our team valued Koloko in the top 20. Like he said, he was like a top 20, top 25 pick on their list, and they got him at 33. So the philosophy of what happened with the Goran Dragic, Thad Young trade came through exactly how we thought, that they got a player at 33 that they thought that they wanted at 20, that they probably could have just drafted him at 20, but he was there available at 33. And that is absolutely fantastic. That is kind of the general manager gambling that you want to see in your general manager doing that kind of stuff. And I don't understand, how's Oklahoma City or any of these teams that got so many players last night, like Memphis, how the hell are they going to roster all these players? You got like 25 to 30 players on your team. Like people, what the hell's going on here with stockpiling all these young players, and then your team's still garbage? Like seriously, I'm going to talk about this on Sunday, specifically Oklahoma City, Houston, and Orlando. We're going to talk about these teams that just stockpile these high draft picks and they go nowhere year after year. And we're going to talk about why and stuff like that. Rahul's saying Detroit did really well. Yeah. I gotta say this, that like Detroit, with getting the couple of guys that they got in the trades and the moves around, it's like I don't even know their names because once again, there's like too many Jadens and Jalen's and Dalen's and stuff like that, and I can't keep them all sussed out. I'll learn them as they get better in the league. It's almost like I don't give them any respect in reverse. They don't give us respect. I don't give anybody else in the respect in the league until they make something out of themselves to make me prove that I need to learn their name. So yeah, I'm hearing that the team up that they've got with Cade Cunningham coming in is going to be pretty nasty. Like, let me see, who did they get again? Jalen Ivey or something like that. Ivy, he fell to the 5th pick, and that is pretty big time, honestly, from what I hear. And then there's another guy that they got late that they got in a pick they traded to get, and that he's a bigger guy, and that he's a lob threat too. So Banchero has health concerns. That's interesting information, Rahul. Giovanni saying Christian Koloko got a shooting coach before Combine, shot 1,000 threes a day and made 16 of 25 at Combine and 3, coming second in surprising scouts. Yeah, I think that this is something that'll just be a given. That a couple of his weaknesses are things that the Raptors coaching staff and development team can fix right away. That like he's going to have a 3-point shot. He's going to be a reliable 3-point shooter. Watch, they're going to figure out how to do this. If they can do this with Precious, they're going to do this with Christian for sure. And then the other stuff is like defensive stuff, like getting better at like different like coverages and how to like work with the Raptors' existing defensive stuff. He's going to be fit in real nice. And like it's going to be great for him to clean up messes when people possibly get blown by. He's going to be there to stop them in some ways. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, he has a really uncanny timing. Like he's really good on his timing with his feet. Like he knows when to leave his feet to block shots, to get rebounds and everything. Really, really good. He's like the anti-Lloyd on Scotty's 2K Twitch streams. That this man knows how to block out. He's really good with positioning on defensive rebounds and really good at like using his big body. Like he's not like Chris Boucher, who he's going to come in and he's not going to have like a physical presence right away. He will be able to body people and box people out and do really good on the boards. Like it's those are the two things we're really going to get from him the most is block shots and rebounds. That this man can rebound like crazy. Koloko. He's strong, he's long, he's taller than most guys, and he can get some good wide like box out and do really good work on that, like on the defensive rebounding end. So I'm really excited about that stuff. And the 3-point shot will get developed and be added to his weaponry. But that's all stuff that's going to get developed over time. At least in the very beginning, he will be a good rebounder and defender for us right away and stuff like that. He's going to be a good low post defender, like physically and for shot blocks and stuff like that. So GMA G84 said Orlando went worse than OKC. At least OKC had their nice run in the mid 2010s. OKC still trying to rebuild after losing Durant and Westbrook. Yeah, they've been trying to do all. I don't understand this philosophy. This is what I'll talk about on Sunday of just getting so many draft picks, having so many draft picks. It doesn't make any sense to me. Honestly, if I feel like they're shooting buckshot. Like if they have a gun, they're shooting buckshot. They just want to shoot a bunch of little pellets all over the draft board and just hope one of them strikes gold. Whereas we're like very calculated. The Raptors, we're like a laser. We're like, we're shooting right at Koloko. Meanwhile, they're spraying buckshot like with the old timey like shotgun. And the buckshot just spreads all over, and they're just trying to hit all kinds of targets. I don't understand these teams. Giovanni's saying Raptors signed Ron Harper Jr. 2-way contract after the draft. 240-pound 3-point shooting guard out of Rutgers. And I'm telling you, he looks like Eric Andre to me. Like seriously, go watch some Eric Andre show and stuff like that. Now I know Kai Soto did not get drafted. And everybody's like, oh, the Filipino people were like, what is going on? Kai Soto is amazing. But I will give you guys this concession, y'all. Just so y'all know, Ron Harper's mother, Ron Harper Jr., is Filipino. So he is half Filipino, Ron Harper Jr., just so y'all know on the down low. So there you go. Ron Harper's mom is Filipino. So just so you know, we didn't get Kai Soto, but we did get a guy whose mom is Filipino. So all right, David S. is saying Miami Heat steal the draft, huh? Jovic at 28 was pretty sick for them. I have no faith in that guy either. I'm telling you, man, I've seen some of these guys when they got drafted. I'm calling a bust right now. I'm gonna call a bust on Jovic right now. Yeah. I don't think that dude is tough. I think he's soft. I looked at him. I got the vibe from him. This is just me from my years and years of watching the NBA and experience. I'm gonna say it right now. Chet Holmgren and that Jovic, not Jokic. He's going to be a bust. They're both going to be busts. Chet Holmgren and Nikola Jovic is going to be a bust. I'm telling you right now, he's going to be a bust. I saw it right when I saw him stand up. This dude is not looking like he's hard-nosed enough. He's soft. That Jovic guy's going to get tore up. He's going to be like a Bargnani. Watch. He's going to get tore up. I'm going to tell you right now. Tom Duke's saying, that's cool, Giovanni. He has the tools and has done the work. Also, he went to Sierra Canyon. That school has some big names coming out lately. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I have no faith in him. You guys just heard my opinion on Nikola Jovic. This is so interesting and stuff like that. What you guys are saying. I like this. Okay, Giovanni's saying, I think Ron Harper Jr. is insurance with Malachi Flynn in contract year and Speedburn being in contract year. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not totally sure what we can rely on Ron Harper Jr. for on the NBA level. Is he going to be a three-point shooter that we can really rely on? Is he going to be a scorer that we can rely on in some ways? These are things I hope are yes and stuff like that because his defense looks pretty solid. He's not going to hurt us on defense. And if he can add any kind of scoring for us in any kind of way, he's going to get into our rotation because we just want guys who can ball at this point to help us with scoring off the bench. And if Ron Harper can step up and do this more than any of the other guys we had from last year, that he's going to get a spot in the rotation. Trust me. Sixers traded Danny Green. Yes, that was one of the confusing trades. Everything was weird. Who's going which way? But yes, Danny Green is on the Memphis Grizzlies now. They have united Danny Green with evil Danny Green. Dylan Brooks and Danny Green are on the same team now. And this is very strange. Very, very strange. I'm sure when they walk into the dressing room, there's a little bit of a mirroring going on. Like, oh, Danny Green, Dylan Brooks. Who's Danny Green and who's Dylan Brooks? They're not going to be able to figure it out at times for the season coming up. Giovanni saying, damn, I was thinking Boucher was getting around 14 to 15 million. I think Boucher is gone. Alexi, I think Koloko can take Boucher's spot. Yeah. Listen, I'm serious. I want to have a wealth of these guys. Like, I hate just having one or two big men. Let's have some depth at this position for once. Let's bring Boucher and Thad back still. Like, come on, Bobby, do it. We want some depth up front because, that is a good thing to have. Have more height, have more length. And Chris is great. We want Chris back. I don't think that they're the same player, Koloko and Boucher. That there's a difference. Like Boucher has a whole other kind of experience accrued already that is important that we don't want to lose. And Koloko is a project to a degree still. Like we don't know how much we can depend on him. And then it may be smart to have Chris still around. I don't want to get rid of Chris. And I will pay him. Honestly, I would pay him $15 million a year to stay on the teams. Like seriously, I want Chris Boucher back. Kilimanjaro saying, "Yo, what's up, Kilimanjaro? Good to see you. What a great day after we drafted Christian Koloko last night." David saying, "Why would we want him to take Boucher's spot?" See, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like they're a different player. Chris Boucher is very unique, and Koloko is not the same guy. Let's see. Giovanni saying Thad Young hinted at exit interview. His family's going to be a big part of his decision in free agency. It seemed like he was hinting he wanted to be with his wife and kids, so he is going to us. Are you saying he's going to stay with us like Thad? I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to overpay for Thad. I'll overpay for Chris a little bit, but not for Thad. I want to get him on a cheap deal. Like if the Sixers can get PJ Tucker for $10 million a year, why can't we get Thad Young for less than $10 million a year? Come on. G saying this is patience is key as a fans. Yes. Gio, I agree, but don't think Thad is staying because of his family being in the States. Yeah. Like I said, if Thad walks, it's not a big, huge deal. Chris Boucher, I'm more worried about. Evelyn saying, good Friday morning, guys. Good to see you, Granny Evelyn. Good morning to you. G saying, Knicks fans are in shambles. Not only they're in shambles, they don't even know what the fuck happened last night. They're kind of like, what that just happened? They're like confused and in shambles. It's like they have no idea what happened last night. In fact, I don't either. And I don't even care. I don't want to even look into it. Like, because I'm just as mystified about what happened last night, too. As far as what they ended up with and stuff like that with this Kemba Walker trade and all this kind of stuff. Who did they actually get at the end of all that trading around stuff like that? I don't even know what they did. They don't know what they did. David's saying Detroit did well last night. If they get 8 and they may be good. Detroit's going to be good regardless. And some people are saying now we're never going to beat Detroit because they just keep getting these really talented young guys. But you know what? In some ways, I think we will have a better chance of beating them now. Yeah, for some weird reason, I think that we'll have a better chance of beating Detroit with these new young guys coming in. For some reason, I don't know why. It's just a weird way that things work in this world. That like, yeah, Casey's revenge will get these couple wins for a couple of years, but now he's got a really good team. Maybe our team really comes up and like, yeah, we start beating their ass again. And owning their arena by our fans jumping the border in buses and taking over their arena and stuff. So, yeah, I feel good about us against Detroit. I'm going to have an optimistic view about us playing Detroit this year and say we're going to get revenge on Casey this year. This is our year to sweep him back because we did that the next year. He swept us the first year after he left. Then we swept him the second year. He swept us the third year. Now we sweep him in the fourth year. That's what I'm saying right now. We got to get him back this year. Oh, yeah, lots of retracted messages. David's saying, yeah, I'm holding on to to Messiah we trust this morning. Yeah, that's exactly the right philosophy, David. And we did, and we got rewarded with a new center from Cameroon, Christian Koloko. Yes, this man is a badass, honestly. Like, I'm really excited about him. I've seen some interviews with him already, and he seems like a nice young man who's going to be a really good fit with the Raptors culture and what's going on and stuff like that. Like, the team's excited, Scotty's excited, Precious is excited, Pascal's excited, Nick Nurse is excited, and Christian's excited. So everybody's excited. This is good. G saying big theme in the draft was the amount of mothers who were with players, athletes, and or whose players were athlete or all right. Big theme in the draft was the amount of mothers who were players, athletes, or coaches. Yeah, that was an interesting thing. And seeing these young men cry and be really emotional about getting picked. Some of them not too happy about getting on the teams they got picked. Like that one guy who got picked up by Sacramento, Murray. He didn't look too happy when he got drafted by Sacramento. You saw the look on his face where he's kind of like, he didn't look happy. Let's just put it that way and stuff like that. So. But yeah, really good, fun draft in different ways. Some weird styles. I don't know about Paulo's purple suit and stuff like that, but interesting stuff at the draft. And it is what it is. The draft is a draft, and there are people at the draft are annoying. Like that Malika, she hosted. She kind of slighted the Raptors a couple times, which is annoying. And Jay Billis is always interesting. Kendrick Perkins, he's pretty good. Lolita saying, yeah, we did very good. The TV hosts were singing praises to Messiah. Go Raptors. Now the undrafted. Yes, Lolita. Yeah, it was a great pick. It's who the Raptors fans wanted. It's who the management wanted. It's who the coaches and the players wanted. And it's been just it worked out really, really well. And the undrafted, Ron Harper Jr. That's right. We got Ron Harper Jr. as our two-way player undrafted after the draft. Right away, we snatched him up. Click saying, watching the Raptors draft and then the Knicks draft makes me so thankful I'm a Raptors fan. And we have great people in the organization. Yeah, exactly what I was saying yesterday. Is like we can trust in our guys and other teams. There's no trust in Leon Rose or these other people running other teams. It's like, what are they doing? They're causing dumpster fires and stuff like that. I'm really excited about the Raptors. I mean, less is more in some ways. Like we did the least of what we needed to do last night, and we got good pieces. And everybody else is going every which way and all kinds of things. Confusion. Like I have no idea what the fuck's happening with the NBA in America right now. Like what's going to happen with all these big albatross contracts we talked about? This carousel of bad contracts. Like what's going to happen, Kyrie, John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beals, James Harden? What is going to happen with these guys? How are they going to shuffle around? We're going to have to see how it gets all shaken up. And then like even these draft picks, they went every which way. Are any of these guys really going to have huge impacts on their teams in different ways and stuff like that? It's going to be very interesting. I don't think this draft class is going to be that good. I think that the one last year is going to be way better, the one that Scotty was in, and that this draft class is going to be a little bit of a disappointment, I think, as time goes on. I got that vibe just from these players coming in. Like they're all like, I don't know, the style is like players are a little softer than they used to be. Like as somebody put it, it's like these players aren't coming from the trenches anymore. They're prep stars. They're already pampered. They're a little bit taken care of. They're a different kind of breed than the old kind of like, I worked really hard to get this league like Fred VanVleet kind of guys. And that may be a difference in how guys do as pros, that maybe they're not that hungry. Maybe they're really good and they're talented, but maybe they're not that hungry is what I'm saying. And some of these guys that got drafted last night, I don't know how hungry these guys are. These guys look a little bit soft. Let's just put it that way. This draft class last night looks soft to me in a lot of different places, but we got a nice center, a center that don't look soft to me. This guy looks like he's ready to throw some Serge Ibaka elbows, Christian Koloko. So it's overall the draft looks soft to me. Seriously, like seeing these dudes that were getting drafted, I'm like, this kid is going to do something. This willowy kid, he's going to do something. No, this kid ain't going to do anything in the NBA. He's going to get put on his ass, and he's going to look different. It's going to look a whole lot different on the floor. Let's see. Okay, Click saying, Marlon Toby saying, yeah, there were a lot of trades of future first or second round picks moving back and forth. OKC, Knicks, Pistons, Hornets, Timberwolves. I don't know who's got which drafts. picks or whatever, the future, like it's so stupid at this point. It's like, I don't care. I don't care. Like the Raptors and I have the same philosophies. We don't really are not trade people, and we're not really dependent on draft or draft picks or caring about the draft so much. I'm just that way. I'm like, yeah, we got a great pick. We got a great player. Let's concentrate on him, build on him, premium. And then, like, why get so many players and have so much competition and so much weirdness on your team, so much youth? You're not going to be that good. And I don't understand these draft picks. Like, some teams don't have any draft picks for a while, like the Lakers. And I think that the Nets are another team that have no draft picks because of what they did, too. So I don't know. I don't value draft picks like some of these teams obviously do, like just stockpiling draft picks. It's crazy. Let's see. Click saying, yeah, Utah is gone. They had so much time to prove their worth and they failed. I think Justin stays. Yeah, I think Justin gets at least 2 years to try for the Raptors. If he doesn't have a huge impact on the team, he may not be on the team next year and stuff like that. But yeah, I think Utah's pretty much for sure gone. This will be good for him. Utah, get on another team where you can get way more minutes and just show more and develop more. You maybe just got to the end of the line with the Raptors in particular, and you learned so much being here, so much good stuff, development. Now you can go somewhere else, get more time, and shine more, Utah. That's what I'm hoping will happen for him, particularly. David saying Armani didn't exactly have a lot of time. I expect we will see him playing for us next year. Yeah. I think Armani is really dead set on making a place for him on the Raptors somehow, some way. But he is on the outside looking in a little bit, to a degree. But if he can play better than Malachi this season, and maybe he takes his spot as far as like in the pecking order of future point guards for us. But Armani has a shot. But I'm going to tell you right now, he's not the favorite in this. It's going to be Flynn still the favorite. And then all of a sudden, Ron Harper Jr. shows up and he starts doing certain things in a certain way that, it's going to get a little muddled. Now, not that Ron Harper is a point guard, but he has that kind of like guard kind of weird skills and stuff like that and can defend guards. So that's the thing. Let's see. Click saying this season is Malachi's last strike. If he doesn't change, he's out. Yeah, that's for sure. And it's really partly because of his contract, too, because his contract, this is his last year of his contract. Click saying, imagine Scotty, OG, Pascal, Chris, and Koloko. Huge lineup. Yeah. So you have Boucher in that lineup, too. Yeah, you have Koloko and Chris on both sides. You could put Scotty and OG up top, and then Pascal kind of in the middle, a 2-1-2. Look at that matchup. Oh, my gosh, that would be nasty. Like Pascal's just like help defense in the middle. Detroit got Duran from the Knicks. Yeah, that's the name. It's like they got Jaden Ivey, and then they got Duran. There's just so many Durans and Dalens and Jalen's and Jadens, and it's crazy how many names are like similar in this draft last night. G saying one of the commentators said Koloko may be the best big man in the draft at defending guards. I liked hearing that. That means he's switchable. Let's see. I Smoke Rocks is back. All right, let's see what he has to say. Let's see what kind of rocks he's smoking today. Pop rocks, rocks from the ground. I told you, bro, we're building a dynasty. DeAnthony Melton is officially a Sixer. Get ready, baby. He's happy about DeAnthony Melton. Okay, Sixers, you guys made some deals. I'm telling you right now, you got some blockages on your team still. Harden specifically. You got to get rid of Harden first, all right? And then we'll talk about whether you're a contender. G saying, apparently Kai Soto's workouts didn't go well. Yeah, there's got to be some reason why he fell right through, and he didn't even get picked up at the end of the night either as a two-way. Something's weird's happening with Kai Soto. David, where did your message go? I was just about to read it, and you retracted it. All right, Giovanni, from what I heard about Kai Soto, the Raptors offered Kai Soto a two-way contract first, but his agent declined, saying Kai won't get playing time on a two-way. That's interesting information, Giovanni. That could be true. It's something like, maybe I don't know. I'm not going to speculate about this. Nothing materialized from this. There's a reason why Kai Soto did not get picked up by someone. It could be that it could be the kind of thing where there's a pay threshold that he wanted to make for sure in this draft. And maybe he was demanding it through his agent. That it's like, I need to be drafted. I don't want to make a G League contract two-way or anything like that, because I could just stay in the NBL in Australia and make this amount of money more than coming to the NBA and doing this. And it could be that the water divided that way is like, well, I can make more money and do better just staying in Australia. And that could be part of the factoring in of Kai Soto and stuff like that, is that he's going for money and staying there because he knows he's going to get playing time and all this kind of stuff. And it just may not work out with the NBA. The scouts and the people, the personnel do not like him in the NBA, and he's just not going to make it. G's asking David, are you depressed? I'm thrilled. Love our pick undrafted two-way. I don't know what David's depressed. I don't think he is. He retracted the message if he is depressed. Harper Jr. looks like a 3-level scorer. Yeah, we were saying that. He can score from the outside, the mid, and the down low. G saying, David, look at Koloko's defensive stats, and his improvement in short time is exponential. Yeah, well, that's what they were saying. Like, once again, the Raptors have drafted a guy who didn't start playing basketball until later in his life. Like, if you start playing basketball around when you hit puberty, this is who the Raptors want. Because this is the thing with Koloko. He did not play a lot when he was young. And that he is a late bloomer, a late starter once again. And part of it, what they were saying last night, Bobby Webster was saying, is that we look at the development curve from guys like that. And he's talking about specifically somebody like Pascal Siakam or Chris Boucher. And you see where they start basketball later in their life, and you see how much better they get, like on that line graph with their metrics and stuff. And he's saying that's so you can really see some growth, and that they see that kind of path of growth for Koloko, similar to somebody like Siakam. So who knows? Koloko could develop into, like he said, he wanted an all-star at 33. What if Christian Koloko ends up being an NBA all-star someday? Seriously, I'm not lying. Seriously, it could happen. Steve Ed is saying Jalen Harris is there too. Jalen Harris should play on the summer league. Yeah, they should give Jalen Harris another tryout. I don't disagree with this, Steve Ed. Good to see a new name. Every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're talking Raptors. Please join us again. Yeah, Jalen Harris should get another tryout on the summer league at least. And let's just see, because we have his rights. He's got to get reinstated on the 1st of July 1st. And when he gets reinstated, hopefully he can rejoin the team and try to do something big there. And this is the thing. He's got to be perfect. He's got to be lights out. He's got to really show that he could be a shooter scorer that could possibly help our bench this year if he's going to make the team, because he doesn't have a spot right now. He has to make a whole new spot. And man, the competition's hot and heavy on that two-way contract. Those fringe end of the bench guys now, as you think about it, you got Ron Harper Jr., you got Justin Champagnie, you got David Johnson, you want Jalen Harris in the mix too. Like, these are all guys that are going to be fighting for like very few spots on the Raptors roster this year. So he should at least get the invite and the chance to try and reclaim his NBA career. That's what I believe with Jalen Harris. Now, I don't know if he will be successful, so we shouldn't hold our breath. G saying part of negotiations starting high, not really worried about Boucher's contract, but in the NBA, you never know. Yeah, let's just think positive thoughts about this. Like, Chris, we want you back on the Raptors. Chris, we know you want to be back on the Raptors because I'm Shanky told us that you said that at your basketball camp this past weekend last week. So let's just make it happen. Let's figure out the money and get you back. I want more length. It's not like we get Koloko and then we can just get rid of Boucher. I want to have more of these guys. I want us to have more big guys. We need them. Click saying Jalen Harris is iffy. Yeah, he's iffy. There's something weird about him. I don't trust him. There's something weird about him. There's something he's still doing. I don't know what it is. So who knows? So I don't know. Rank Scrub saying Jordan Hall and Trevion Williams both went undrafted. If Raptors get both players, the team will be stacked. Yeah, Trevion did not get drafted. This is somebody who looked really good for Purdue. Like, I agree with Gubstown Clink. Like, Greg saying stuff about Trevion. That was the one guy he showcased this week on his clips. And I was like, wow, he blew me away, Trevion. So that's very telling that he didn't get picked up or put somewhere. He's not really a big-time scorer, though. That's part of it. He has the skills and stuff like that, but he didn't average a lot for Purdue. Giovanni's saying, I think Utah's gone and Raptors not going to re-sign him. Yeah, I think that just is. He's an unrestricted free agent, and that, that's just how it is. I mean, he'll do better on another team at this point anyway, I think. Lolita saying, click, they will be scary. Yes, they're going to be scary. The Raptors are going to be very tough defensively. We were already really tough defensively. Now we got a shot blocker. So, yeah, it's going to get real nasty real quick. Kenny saying, I'm excited. Hope we keep him for the long haul. I miss Yuta, Yaka, or Ibaka. I think he's saying Ibaka. Yeah, I'm excited about Koloko. I think that he's going to be a good fit. I think that it's going to be a culture fit, and it's going to be really fun to see what he does on G League. First of all, I hope he dominates it. Like honestly, I want to see him go down there and dominate it, like really dominate the G League with his sheer size, and then like his stints on the main roster. I want to see him come in and make productive minutes where he actually is like, doing really good defensive stuff and rebounding and shot blocks. And then any of the offense stuff on top of it, like we could really visualize like Scotty Barnes on the break with Koloko on the wing and him throwing lobs to Koloko at the basket, like, cause he can do lobs like that could be a big part of his offense is in the break and trying to get lobs and stuff like that. So hopefully he can get up and down the court really fast too. So I Smoke Rocks is saying, Raptors said we got to get a player like Embiid, so they legit got a 7-footer from Cameroon, his birthplace. Laugh out loud. This tells me the Raps front office knew they needed something to slow Joel down. Are you excited for the first matchup? I saw the picture of Joel Embiid and Christian Koloko from like 6 years ago when Christian's a young man. He's wearing the glasses. He's very skinny. He's like 16 years old, something like that. And Joel standing next to him, a full-grown man. And I was like, this man does look pretty sizable compared to Joel. And this is before he even filled out with any of the muscle. So, yeah, okay, sure. I Smoke Rocks. You know what? I will give you this. Like, yeah, maybe we did get Koloko a little bit to deal with guys like your center and Nikola Jokic and stuff like that. But this is the difference between what I was saying to you yesterday about having Embiid is Koloko's a role player. He's not somebody we're going to invest a huge chunk of our salary cap in and over time. Like Joel is going to eat up a big punch part of your salary cap. And this is the thing, you got to rely on having Joel out there. And there's times where he gets too tired. There's times when he's just like not good to have on the court for different reasons. Usually it's a defensive reason or something like that. And that's the thing. We can afford to put Koloko in and out and not use him in that way because we didn't invest as much money as you guys did with Joel. And that's the thing. You guys are all in at the center position. We're not. And that's the difference. And that's the reason why Philly's never going to win with Joel Embiid is because he's not, you don't win with your center being your most important player in the NBA anymore. This isn't the era of Mikan. This isn't the era of Olajuwon. This isn't the era of O'Neal. This is a new era in the NBA, and your big man will hurt you in so many different ways. So I am excited about the matchup. I'm more and more excited to play the Sixers every single time we play them because there's a lot of shit talk. There is a grudge match here to a degree. And it is fun in some ways and stuff like that. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to play Philadelphia this season, and we'll see how it goes. Giovanni's saying, Lexi, I expect Malachi Flynn and Svi to have good years because they are playing for a new contract to stay in the NBA. Players usually do well in contract years. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, both of them really are playing for their lives, playing for their NBA lives. If you don't do this, Svi, if you get a chance and you're on the roster this year, you better be hitting your shot. And Malachi, you better get your head out of your ass and really take advantage of those opportunities when you get them. And if you get hurt right when you have to start for instead of Fred again like that, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. It's going to be horrible luck, and we'll feel sad for you, but we'll have to cut you at the end of the year. Trust me. So they are both, and they need it. And Svi's, nothing's guaranteed. We could cut Svi before the end of the season even starts. So Svi better look good in training camp. Because if he doesn't, he may not even make the team. Watch. David's telling Crackhead to get out of here. I agree with that. David's saying, yeah, you're right, G. I don't know. I was pretty high on Justin Lewis for the 33rd spot, but I'm sure we did the right thing. They did all their due diligence. They did all the different things they need to do to understand these players, what's the best fit and stuff like that. One of the things Bobby said is that he likes to take these young players out to dinner. He likes to sit at the dinner table and see how they act, how they behave, maybe how they treat the server, maybe how they interact, what they like to talk about. And that's really how he learns things about these guys. So maybe he's going to dinner with people and they're having really bad table manners. And he's like, oh, we can't draft this guy. He didn't eat with the right fork. He used a salad fork. Or something like that. Maybe he's getting real picky. He's like, oh, you know what? He was very insulting to the waiter just now. It's like, they're thinking about that. And Koloko went to dinner with him in Chicago, apparently, at the Combine. And everything was grand and great. They've had a relationship with Koloko for a few years. They said, in fact, the first time they met with Koloko was in like 2016 or something like that. So there's been like 6 years of tracking Koloko since he was like 15 or 16. So this is like sometimes these draft picks are like finely crafted over years, like Scotty was. Scotty's the same thing. We were in Scotty's periphery for many years and kind of like interested in keeping tabs on him. And then boom, we get him at number 4 last year. Well, Koloko's the same thing. It's like we've been watching Koloko for like 5 or 6 years, and that boom, this is all lined up. And that they've had to thought about him and reassessed and assessed over and over again all through those years about whether he's worth investing time and looking at. And they've said every time, yes, he is. Yes, he is. Is he worth drafting now? Well, yes, he is. And that's part of the process that we have to understand that goes into all of this. Is they taking guys out to dinner, they go to the combine, they work different guys out, they see so much, and they really meticulously suss it all out. And that's what Kendrick Perkins said last night at the draft. He said Masai Ujiri probably has the best eye as a scout in the NBA as a whole overall at this point in the NBA right now. Is Masai Ujiri has the best scouting eye, and that we need to trust him, that this is the right move. Justin Lewis, whatever, whoever didn't get picked, Kai Soto, there's a reason. Black Spawn saying, let's get the likes up. Thank you, Black Spawn. Please hit that subscribe button also if you enjoy what I'm saying here. Duke Rocks saying, can't believe we got Koloko. Champagny signed with Philly. Yeah, Duke Rocks was really excited about this. This was what we said yesterday. I remember, Duke, you're saying, I would love to get Christian Koloko. Well, there you go, Duke Rocks. Just put it right on a platter for you, my friend, my Raptor freak friend. That Bobby Webster heard you somehow, some way in the ether, and he said, yeah, oh, Christian Koloko, Duke Rocks said it. Let's get him right now. Boom. And it's really cool because a lot of us lined up on this. Like Monique was really big on Christian Koloko. He was in my top 5 from possibly getting drafted. I know Greg was big on Koloko also, and he was very excited when he got drafted last night also, coming in on the stream and go, woo, woo, Jubstown Clink. So, you know, it's all good. We're on our way. We're doing what we're supposed to do. There was no weird draft deal with OG involved or anything weird like everybody was saying is going to happen. Hopefully all that'll go away now. Marlon Toby saying Summer League few weeks, so there are going to be more Raptor signings. So this is the last dance for Svi, Malachi, Bonga, Brooks, and Yuta. Wow, Marlon's thinking we're going to like all these guys off the team. I don't know. Malachi's already going to be on the team for sure this year. The other guys are all questionable. I will put it that way. Yuta's probably most likely gone for sure. Bonga is somebody I think is going to be around still because I think they really like him also, and he fits with what they're trying to do. And Svi and Brooks, we kind of just talked about. They're going to have to fight for roster spots going into training camp. So we'll have to see who performs and who does what. Duke saying we signed Ron Harper Jr. I love it. Wild man with wild hair and wide shoulders and just banging and hanging, running in there and getting baskets. That's what he does. It's awesome. Rutgers fans really excited about him being in Toronto, and they're saying that all these New Jersey people are going to be Raptors fans this year now. So it's like the Nets leave New Jersey, and now it's Raptors country because of Ron Harper Jr. G saying Koloko weighs 15 more pounds than Evan Mobley for perspective on his size. Ooh, that's a great factoid, G. I love hearing that. Exactly, y'all. See, this is the thing. Sometimes big men are projects because they have to fill out. They got to get more weight on them. They have Chris Boucher problems. Koloko doesn't have this. Like this is the thing. When you see somebody who's at 230 in the NBA, like Kai Soto and Koloko, these guys are ready to bang. These guys are ready to come in there and get physical on an NBA level with big guys. Like these are big dudes. Like Scotty Barnes came in ready with his wide shoulders and his big body. He was ready to get into the physicality of the NBA, and it really showed. Well, Koloko's that kind of guy also, it looks like. And Ron Harper Jr. also. These guys are physical, big, strong dudes, and they look like they're ready for the NBA level. And that's what the difference is between them and, let's say, Nikola Jovic and Chet Holmgren. The reason why I think these guys are going to be scrubs because they're going to get pushed around. They look so skinny and so frail, so willowy. It's like just push them out of the way or just like whatever. I have no faith in them. Those guys are going to be busts. It's like, who knows if they're going to fill out or they're going to be able to deal with the physicality of the NBA. They're going to find out real quick, especially against the Raptors. Oh, yeah. Julian's saying, yes, Harper Jr. is a major signing and a big win for the Raptors. That's a big check mark from Julian. Thanks for being here, Julian. Please come back next day. We're here every morning, 9:30 a.m., live talking Raptors. And I agree. I think Harper Jr. is like so out of left field. Not somebody I thought the Raptors would have on their roster at the end of the night last night. Very pleasantly surprised to see this guy. He's in that mold of baller, winner, hustler kind of guy that's like doing what it takes to win. And I like that. That's a Lowry kind of trait in Ron Harper Jr. I can see it. I Smoke Rocks is saying, what do you think Koloko's upside is? Like a Mutombo type player or more of a possible growing two-way player? Well, we know we're going to get the defense and the block shots and the rebounding from him. Anything that he develops on the offensive end is going to be gravy. Like, we want the defensive stuff for sure. And we are going to probably demand him to be able to shoot a three-point shot. But that's just a prerequisite for everyone in the league at this point. If you don't have a three-point shot, then what the hell are you doing in the NBA? You got to be able to shoot it at this point. So we're going to develop a three-point shot for him and maybe get his touch a little bit better. Who knows? He could develop into being a pretty good offensive player. But the thing is, we don't have to necessarily rely on him for offensive stuff. It really is the Mutombo kind of stuff. We want him to block shots and rebound. So it'll be very interesting. I'm going to be pleasantly surprised with whatever he brings, because I know he's going to bring us good shot blocking, rim protection, and he will be a really good box out defensive rebounder. And who knows how he is on offensive glass. He could be really good there too. So Marlon Toby's saying, I can see it now. Barnes alley-oop pass to Koloko for a poster dunk over somebody on the other team. Yeah, this is going to be nasty. There were a couple of lob cities that seem like they're going into development. Detroit looks like they've got some lob city going on all of a sudden with the guys they picked up last night. Memphis is going to have some interesting stuff with their lobs and stuff like that. Well, we may too, because we got Christian Koloko now and stuff like that. I'm just excited in general to see Scotty develop more as a playmaker, a passer, as somebody who's kind of initiating the offense, maybe directing things, maybe getting the ball to guys in the right spots to get good baskets. Like, Koloko, one of the things he's really good at, from what I saw in the highlights last night, he's really good at spacing near the basket. Like, he's really good at letting his defender leave him to go help and double on somebody else, and getting the ball getting the pass in the right place for a real easy dunk. So people like Pascal are going to come down low, and Koloko's on the other side from him, and the big man comes off of Koloko. If Pascal can just shuffle and throw it over to Koloko, it's a dunk. So he's really savvy at understanding spacing, Christian Koloko, and how to space himself away from other players on his team to get a really good catch and dunk off of a double when his man leaves him. So that's something we'll watch out for this year, is Koloko really getting good passes because his guy leaves him. So let's see. Kareem Thomas here. Good to see Kareem. Haven't seen you in a bit. Koloko is a perfect fit. All he needs to do is play big, grab boards, and protect the rim. We basically got ourselves a Gobert, just younger and cheap, and can help defending the perimeter off the switch. Yeah, they're saying that out of all the big men in this draft, he has one of the best mobility side to side and stuff like that. It's really good. I love what Kareem's saying here, and I agree with this. It's like everybody's saying, well, you need a Gobert. Well, look, we got a cheaper Gobert, a younger Gobert. We got our own Gobert. And you can have Gobert on your own Gobert and go have Gobert and go Gobert and whatever. But we got our guy, and he's Koloko. We're loco for Koloko. So you can go Gobert. We don't need you, all right? Masai and Bobby had Barnes and Koloko land right in their laps. They have been following both since their youth. Yes. These are guys that they've coveted. They've maybe pined for. Maybe they've been a little bit like, oh, I wish I could get Scotty Barnes. We got Scotty Barnes. It's like that kind of thing. And I think that they're very pleasantly surprised and happy to line things up nice when they get somebody that they've targeted for a while and really put work in towards understanding whether they be a good fit or not. And then boom, landing them. It's like landing a plane. Oh, we got the plane landed and it's in the hangar now. Christian Koloko, boom, we got it. And that this is the same feeling with Scotty Barnes last year. Same kind of thing. Duke Rocks is saying, even though Koloko is older, like Siakam when drafted, he has huge upside. Since he started playing basketball late, he's improved every year in college. In fact, he needed those 3 years at Arizona. Honestly, if he had tried to come into the league 2 years ago or last year, it was too soon. He needed the time to develop and get to be more of pro's body at Arizona. That's the right level for him to be playing at, was on the Wildcats for the 3 years that he was there. If he had jumped to the league way too soon, it might have hurt him. And this is good that he's older. Like, this is the crazy thing. Ron Harper Jr. and Christian Koloko are both older than Scotty Barnes. So Scotty Barnes is still the baby boy on the team. So he's still the youngest on the team, even though we got, because Koloko's 21. And so is Ron Harper Jr., I believe. He's 21 also. So let's see. G saying he probably watches how engaged they are at dinner. If they're on their phone, they're distracted easily. Yeah, it's totally all that kind of stuff. And it's probably very psychological. Like, he's probably like, what do they talk about? Do they initiate the conversation with me? It's kind of like a weird date. It's like when a woman goes on a date with a man for the first time, they're really checking out all these signs. It's the same kind of thing. They're maybe really paying attention to, like, how interested are they or engaged with conversating with you? What do they want to talk about? What is most important to them? What, get in a sense of their personality. Are they fun? Are they naturally fun? Are they kind of closed off? All that kind of stuff goes into the factoring. This could have been the difference between Jalen Suggs and Scotty Barnes, was the dinner and how it felt to sit there and talk and eat with them, stuff like that. This is a really good point, G. And it's smart. This is brilliant by the Raptors organization to use this dinner tactic. G saying Koloko will be a cleanup man for the Raptors' missed shots. Yeah, and Embiid may destroy Chet. I know. Like, I have no faith in this Chet dude. Like, seriously, this guy is so paper thin, like a Slender Man. And, like, what is this Machine Gun Kelly style he has with it? These youth with their weird styles and stuff like that. What is this? Come on, he's creepy. He's creepy. I have no faith in Holmgren. I'm going to say it right now. He's going to be a bust. Lolita's saying Marlon Toby, yes, Scotty, and Koloko together will be exciting to watch. It'll be such a nice connection to see. Like, Scotty, no look passing. Somebody's already making the connection that Scotty is Magic Johnson and Koloko is Kareem. They're going to be doing Showtime stuff between the two of them. We'll see. I mean, could happen. I don't think that Koloko will come anywhere near Kareem kind of status of scoring and stuff like that, but there could be a little bit of shading of that, a little bit of looking like that. Duke Rocks is saying Nurse said Koloko may not switch every time, but he can handle guards thanks to his footwork. A guy 7'1" guarding the perimeter, he'll shut down pick and rolls. Well, the thing I really love about him is that he recovers really well. Like, he's weird, man. Like, a lot of this highlights for his shot blocking, he's not even guarding the guy he blocks. Like, it's always like another guy on the team will be guarding somebody. They say Scotty's guarding somebody on the other side. He's on the weak. Koloko's on the weak side. Scotty's on the strong side, guarding a guy who's trying to post him up. And then the guy will bomb Scotty out of the way, and then all of a sudden Koloko's there and he blocks the shot when the guy comes at the basket. It's a combination of him being able to cover ground really quickly, and then also his timing is superb. Like, this man has really good timing. Some players don't have good feet timing. Like, they're not quick to get up and the jump and stuff like that. This dude is a pogo stick, Koloko. He can get up and down and jump pretty quick and get quick over across the lane to block and all this kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. He has good timing skills and he can cover ground quickly in a quick time and stuff like that. So that is the really interesting stuff that I want to see as far as like how he helps our defense. It's like his help defense is going to be amazing. Honestly, it may not be like on the ball. It may be that we still need Scotty to do the physical, like really physical stuff against like a Jokic. And then boom, there's a Koloko watching out from the side with the help block and stuff like that. So Tom Duke saying, so true. Would like Open Gym to do a video of the draft process choices, get even more pumped up. Open Gym is doing that. Open Gym next season will probably start in preseason. Yeah, they had a clip this morning already of them drafting Koloko and on the phone with them and stuff like that. They don't want to give away the secret sauce, though, y'all. We don't want to show everybody exactly what we do with our draft sussing out, because then other teams, is a copycat league. They'll all try and start doing exactly what we do. So we don't want to give away too much on open gym. I love the Tom Duke's got his fire truck with all the fires behind it. Woo! Look out! This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Kareem Thomas saying, I hope the Raptors can fast forward Koloko's progress as they did Scotty. Do you think he's starting day one? He will not start day one. No, there's no way. Like, we're having enough trouble figuring out who's going to start between our regular core that we already have. Like, does Precious get put in the starting lineup? Or do we keep with Fred, Gary, OG, Pascal, and Scotty, which is the lineup I'm for and stuff like that. So, no, he won't start from day one. And there's some question whether he'll be more G League this year and less main roster, or will he be a contributing rotation player on the main roster with the little dabbles of the G League? It's like it could be one or the other way. I'd like to see him go full out G League with little dabbles on the main roster this first year. But if he's already doing amazing things for us and we want him on the main roster and use him more heavy, then by all means, we'll do that. It's just what he can handle, what he's ready for as a rookie, and like not overburdening him. We want him to look really good and get a lot of confidence on the G League level, dominating. And then hopefully on the main roster level, he can do key things and just role player things. Like, it may be like he's a guy who's used just for matchups. Like, it could be that we only play him because we play against Ayton or something, or Gallant or something like that, stuff like that. Let's see. Kendrick Perkins and Malika Andrews gave us high praise last night for our system. Yeah. There was a lot of nice things said about the Raptors organization. A lot of comparisons to our players when these guys would get drafted. It seemed like a lot of these players were getting compared to OG and Pascal last night. He's like an OG Anunoby with a blah, 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 blah. And there was a lot of talk about wings last night. Like, people were talking about getting wings. Kevin Durant has said the future of this league is wings and stuff like that. People are looking at players that are similar to what we've been building in our team, and they're trying to get more of them on their teams at this point and stuff like that. So Kendrick still can't pronounce OG Anunoby properly. That's hilarious. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a good thing he doesn't use his first name also. Agua. Like, that would be a whole other weirdness if OG was using his full real name. Laugh out loud from David. Click saying, Nurse said Koloko is going to be back and forth with Raps in 905. Get reps and develop while getting important minutes. Yeah, that'll be so good for him. He's a second-round pick. We still got to remember this. He may have been a first-round pick in a lot of different ways, like his level of play, who he is like blue chipper and stuff like that. But he still is a second-round pick, and that does mean G League for sure. David's saying the only name he pronounces properly is Joel Embiid, the love of his life. Crack it on, Kendrick. Nick Nurse says, all right, here we go. Another rebus. As there's a chef, Nick Nurse is going to cook an egg, and they're going to eat and cook in 2023. I believe in that, Tom Duke. I believe in that vision, that rebus vision. BTOB saying Raptors is building a dynasty that makes all the difference. And G's saying, Scotty, Jamaican Bacon Barnes, I suck at names, but not bad. Jamaican Bacon? Jamaican Bacon? Gee, at least you're really good at trivia. Let's just put it that way. Oh my gosh. I'm a fun guy's here. Yes. When I'm a fun guy's here, I'm so happy to see you. I'm a fun guy. Yes. I'm so happy too. Oh my God, Koloko. Yes. I echo what you are saying here, Mr. Fun Guy. I missed you. I'm so glad to see you here on an important day like today, getting Christian Koloko last night. David S. is saying, not bad. Better than Dread Baron. Oh, come on. Dread Baron's awesome. Come on, David. Laugh out. You guys are killing me right now. I don't know. Jamaican Bacon Barnes. Come on. That is not good. That is not good. Seriously. That's not good. Scotty Basketball Barnes. That may be the best one still. At least in my opinion. Tom Duke's got waffles. He's got bacon. Waffles and bacon. Yeah, I guess it's a breakfast food. It's pretty good. He's got the maple syrup cans and stuff like that. All right. I don't know how much more I want to talk about today. It's 90 minutes of coverage of freaking out about Christian Koloko. We finally got our center. He's a mobile center. He's got a lot of promise. He could be a good offensive player also down on the down low in the future, but he's definitely got the defensive chops, the rebounding chops, the shot blocking chops that we needed. This is a need that we needed, and we got it. We got a need for our team filled by getting Christian Koloko. And what a great job getting a guy who's from the same city in Cameroon as Pascal Siakam. So there's going to be already kind of a familiarity and stuff like that are it's just such a great job. And Ron Harper Jr. looks great and fantastic as a second a two-way player as another pickup last night. Oh man, you guys, as in bacon other players, not bacon, Tom, dude, bacon. All right, you guys converted me. Let's go Koloko. All right, David's happy about Koloko now. That's good. That's good. Seriously, this is gonna be a good thing because this man is NBA ready. I think he is. Chef Barnes. Chef Barnes. Yes, Tom Duke. All right, emoticons are crazy. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. No, I'm just glad the Raptors are in town, that they're hanging out together, that they're practicing at OVO. Scotty is probably going to be on Twitch tonight. I'm going to guess later on. So y'all follow him on Twitch. You probably see him play video games later tonight. He was running around at Bathurst and King yesterday. I could tell from his Instagram. He was at the corner of Bathurst and King for a second. Just posted a little thing there. Let's see. Duke's saying, anybody going to see Nurse at the Jazz Festival? This is part of the reason why Nick Nurse is smiling so big, is he gets to play with Prince's band, and he's got a new center, and he's got his main players on his team. His franchise players are all still here in town working with him in the offseason. They could be all kinds of different places. In fact, I cannot remember a time in the history of the Raptors when our franchise dudes, like our guys that were at the draft war room yesterday, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, were all here voluntarily sitting in the draft room, important, wanting to be there to see this important drafting and all this kind of stuff. That is amazing, honestly. These dudes could be anywhere right now in the world. They don't have to be here. And they care about being Raptors and what we're building and what we're doing here that much, that they want to be there and see it all happen in front of them. So that's a fantastic thing. The chemistry and the camaraderie on the Raptors is the best it's ever been in the history of the franchise. And knock on wood, we want to keep it that way, that things are going so good. In fact, it may be the opposite of all these stupid rumors that people have been trying to talk about the Raptors being upset and unhappy. Well, maybe it's the guys who are losing their spots on the team that are unhappy, and they need to make it clear that that's who's unhappy, and it's none of the core guys who matter and stuff like that. So it's going to be really good. I'm a fun guy saying, laugh out loud, bro. We drafted our own Embiid, Rudy Gobert, Jalen Smith type. I know. And listen, he's a good kid. Like, I can tell from his interviews and the way he carries himself, he's going to be a good one. And that I'm really excited to see his synergy with the rest of the guys and what he will bring on his own. Christian Koloko. Yeah, we don't need any of these other centers. We got our own guy, and it's really badass. I love it. Seymour saying every team stole a page out of Raptors' book by picking a player opposite of what the media was saying. Yeah, they were all trying to go off script last night. Orlando, right off the start, it's like, oh, you think we're taking Jabari Smith? Okay, we'll see what we're doing here. Banchero, boom. Yeah, it's just like that right from the start. And it was weird to see, like, what was that one player, the G League Ignite player that fell so far? Hardy? Is that, well, not Hardy. See, I'm getting confused with all that. It is Hardy. Yeah, he fell so far, and he was sitting in the draft room, and he had to wait a long time before he got his name called. And that's always the worst. If you're like that one player that's still sitting in there in the room, in the green room, waiting for your name to be called, and it just doesn't happen. Oh man, that's got to be the worst. David's saying that's shout out on Scotty was pretty cool. Yeah, listen, he knows my name and he knows I'm a regular, so I'm a bona fide Scotty Twitch regular now. It's awesome. I love it. Tom Duke saying, Seymour, so true. Draft commentators were all wrong on the next projections. Yeah, they were messing up with the way they were picking and stuff like that and stuff. Yeah, Wojnarowski and Shams, it wasn't the best night. It was all over the place. They really couldn't make a clear picture of the mess of all the trading going back and forth or anything like that. Oh yeah, we should talk about AJ Griffin. Yeah, he did fall a little bit. Atlanta ended up getting him. It's so nice to see Adrian Griffin Sr. being there with Junior, and when he got drafted, and that beaming of pride and just hugging his son and just seeing how happy they were. Atlanta's not a bad place for him to go. It would have been nice if he was in the Raptors and stuff like that. But yeah, AJ did fall a little bit. Everybody fell. A couple of different players fell like different ways in this draft. Knicks should have drafted Hardy, but they're stupid. Yeah, probably right, Click. How cool is Jaden Ivy's story about his mom coaching Ja? Yeah, well, there's a connection there already. That'll be interesting. But Ivy's on Detroit, right? Yeah. Tom Duke's saying groomed for the NBA by his mom. Yeah. I want to see Ivy do well. Something about him. Yeah, I'm really scared about Detroit. Like, honestly, Detroit's going to be nasty. They were already going to be nasty, but now they got a couple of other young studs coming in too. It's going to be very interesting. Knicks get the lowest grade of the draft. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen any of the drafts and people do things and stuff like that. They were very pissed last night. The Knicks fans were pissed. Well, they're a dumpster fire. They're a dumpster fire of management. They always have been. They've never gotten it worked out. In fact, I think the NBA gave up on the Knicks being the golden boy team, that they're just so dysfunctional that they really kind of throw their weight behind the Brooklyn Nets now in New York City, that they want the Nets to be this golden boy team. And in some ways, they're a dumpster fire who's about to come crumbling down also right now with the Kyrie situation and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's see. Tom Duke is saying, yeah, he got on my most wanna do great list. You're talking about Jaden Hardy. Let's see, or Ivy, or I don't know. There's so many Jadens. I'm not gonna be able to keep them clear until I see them play. Pretty cool. 2 Canadians picked in top 10. Go Canada. Yeah, it's always good. Canadian basketball, once again, looking real good last night. Watching Stephen A. Smith rant was a highlight for me. I didn't watch that feed. I'm kind of glad I missed the Stephen A. Smith stuff. I was watching the Kendrick Perkins, Jay Billis feed. Click saying Pistons are going to be fun, but won't win. All right. I like that prediction. They're going to be fun, but they won't win. All right. I want this to happen. I think they'll be a playoff team next year for sure. Tom Duke saying now we're going to get spanked by the Pistons. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes it's weird how it works. They could get better, and then all of a sudden we beat them all the time because of a matchup or something, because of one of their new players. Duke Rock's saying OKC and Detroit did great last night. Yeah, I don't believe OKC did. I believe that Detroit did, but I will not believe that OKC did, because honestly, there's just so much moving around in OKC, and I don't even understand what they're doing. Honestly, I really don't. Tom Duke saying just kidding, of course. Seymour saying, who was your steal pick of the draft? I mean, Ivy is really impressive that he fell to 5th and that Detroit did get him. Like, honestly, that may be it. Seriously. Let me just look at the draft again. Like, where is the real actual see the draft? Draft. Come on, just show it to me. They won't. This stupid site. I want to see the order of it. Why are you not letting me just see the whole thing? Okay, here it is. Well, all right. It's really weird how far EJ fell, like into the second round. EJ Liddell, like that is crazy. And Bryce McGowan's is another one that went really far. That is kind of crazy too. And Jalen Williams too. Like those were names that should have gone higher. So those are good value. And yeah, the rest of them, whatever. I mean, those are those guys in the middle of the second round that were supposed to be first round guys. They're similar to what we did with Koloko. Good value in the second round because they possibly should have been first round players, but they got them in the second round. I agree, OKC due to their youth, but they have some serious talent on their team. They have all this talent in the world, but you need balance is what we got to understand. It's like you can't just have all talent because who's going to lead them? Who's going to teach them? You just have a whole bunch of young guys. Who's the vets that are teaching these guys how to play in the league? They're just kind of learning all together, and they're just baby teams and stuff like that. And it seems like I don't want to shoot my shot for Sunday. It's like it seems like these teams are just perennially always just rookies and developing, and they're never actually getting to the next stage of development, like where we're trying to go into next with our team in Toronto. Is that you need to let that core stay together and have time to grow into something. They keep just recycling new water in over and over again, and then nothing stays. It's like constant flow. That's what I'm talking about with OKC. I don't know. Anyway, all right, y'all. Thanks for being here with me, talking about Christian Koloko. Very happy with the pick. Good job, Masai and Bobby. We're so proud of you guys. Once again, we trust you. You did a good job. Ron Harper Jr., very intrigued about this and so happy about our core Raptors being in town and hanging around and playing together and palling around together. Scotty Barnes said this. I'll leave this on one last note. On his Twitch the last time, he wanted y'all to know something about when you see him in public in Toronto, please let him have his space. There's been times in the last week where Scotty's been trying to do things in Toronto out in public, and they have mobbed him. That there are people going out of pocket and getting in his face and getting in his life in a way that is not cool. It's a little rude, and you need to respect his privacy and his boundaries is what he's requesting, y'all. That he wants to be friendly and he'll say hi and talk to him, but pick your spots and don't overwhelm him. And don't like sketch him out by like all of a sudden everybody coming up on him, like 20 people all of a sudden, because he's getting mobbed a little bit in Toronto in the public. And that he wants people to respect his privacy and respect his space. This is what he asked us on the Twitch, to let people know this, that he understands we love him and stuff like that, but he is a human being. He just wants to live his life. So don't go out of pocket and start bothering him if he's in the bathroom or if he's at a restaurant, he's trying to eat something. Let him be him and have his life. There will be moments and possibly where you can say hi to him or maybe say something to him, but pick your spots and make sure that they're the right time to do these kind of things and not the worst time to do these kind of things. Because he did complain about this the other day, that the fans are a little bit too in his face right now in public. And he wants some space, is what he's saying. So there you go. G saying Johnny Davis may be the one to watch. Yeah, that was Washington, right? Johnny Davis went to Washington or something in the first round. Let me see. Yeah, he went to Washington from Wisconsin. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm listen. All these different guys. We'll see who becomes something. Duke Rocks is saying, can't believe a strange is all a weighted friend. Neil Peart. Yeah, this man is quoting Rush this morning. Dude, just got points, major points in my life. So I love Rush, a good Toronto band. Says it all when it comes to the price of fame. Can't believe a strange is a long-weighted friend. Yeah. It's just that he wants within reason. Like, it's not that he wants to be an asshole and say, don't come near me or anything. It's just within reason, y'all. Use your judgment. If you do see Scotty in public and, maybe you just call out and say, Scotty, wave to him. You don't have to run up to him and be all like huggy and I want to hug you. I want to kiss you and all this kind of stuff. Ladies, leave the man alone and stuff like that. He's picking up the ladies on the 2K, on the NBA 2K. There's a funny clip of him. Like, this was something I didn't even talk about. I should have brought this up because this is really hilarious about his Twitch. At one point, he was taking a break from playing basketball on 2K, and he's in this common area where you kind of hang out. And he saw these two characters in the common area. This is the world of avatars on 2K fighting. Like, this guy and girl were fighting in the street, and Scotty's like enamored by. He's like, oh, they're fighting. Ooh, she's really giving it to him. He's like standing to the side with his character, kind of watching them fight, and like they're yelling at each other, going off at each other. And then the girl turns her back on the guy and walks away, kind of angry. And Scotty rolls up as himself, and he's like, yo, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? You all right? What happened there? You okay? He's like macking on the girl through the video game, like, but he's talking through. It's hilarious. If you guys can find this clip on Twitter, you'll find it. You'll know what I'm talking about. But you see his style of pickup. And there's women on Twitter that are just falling in love with him because of the way he's talking to her. He's like, yo, hey, what are you doing later? He's like, you want to Netflix and chill and stuff like he's like this kind of stuff. And like, I'm trying to tell him through the chat at the time, I was like, is this an NPC? Like, are you trying to hit on an NPC? This is not actually a real woman playing this game. This is just like a non-person character, like walking in the environment of the 2K, like public space. And like, I'm trying to tell him that I don't think this is a real person. It's hilarious. Watch that clip. It's so funny. It'll give you some insight to how Scotty might like he's picking up virtual women on video game, but he could pick up any woman in Toronto, probably any single woman would date him in a heartbeat. It's so hilarious. So hilarious. Yeah, that's Limelight. Yeah, I love that song, Duke. Such a good song. You just got huge points for quoting a Rush song there. Seymour saying Jabari did not look happy not going number one. Yeah, that has got to be like crushing to your ego. You get told you're going to be number one, and then you got to wait, and he had to wait 2 spots. Wow. Yeah, he didn't look happy. You're right. I did see him, Seymour. He did not look happy. Hey, Sonny's here. Good to see Sonny. Hey, Lexi, happy with the Koloko pick, and Ron Harper Jr. came out of nowhere. Yeah, Sonny, we did a good one last night. I think that they hit a home run with Koloko, and it's a very nice, pleasant surprise to see Ron Harper Jr. all of a sudden on our roster. It's going to be very interesting. Seymour saying, I'm so happy we didn't move any of our guys, Raptors. We the North. That's right, Seymour. And on that note, thanks for watching me this morning. Friday Freakout on Christian Koloko and Ron Harper Jr. Good stuff. And tomorrow, Share the Love Club for Thad Young. We're going to celebrate Thaddeus Young and talking about what we appreciate and have gratitude towards him about. It may not be that he's on the Raptors next season, and we want to share love and appreciation for him for the bit of time he was on our team last season and stuff like that. See, Goran, if you were just a better character, you'd get a Share the Love Club on a Saturday, Goran, if you were such an asshole. See, we're going to do one for Thad tomorrow because it was his birthday this week, and it was also Father's Day this week, and we got to celebrate Thaddy Daddy. Oh, yeah, we will. All right, guys. Bobby Webster just did an interview, Seymour. All right, I'm going to go check that out, and we'll react to it tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Hit that red subscribe button. It helps me so, so much. My climb is getting better and better. I'm getting closer and closer to 1,000 every single day. I appreciate you. All right, let's go, Koloko. Let's go, Raptors. Yes, Christian Koloko was the right one, baby. He was the right one, baby.